What do you say to former Vice President Pence, who calls your plan, which he associates with Donald Trump, supporting it, which is supporting your plan, your Bannon Navarro sweep, as wrong and un-American, sir?
Yeah, well, I'd love to do an intervention with Mike Pence to get him out of the orb of Mark Short. Let me reemphasize this point that you played, Ari. Regardless of what Pence did, the one thing he didn't do was come to President Trump and White House legal counsel Pat Cipollone before January 6th with the opinion drafted by Greg Jacob, Pence's general counsel, and say, this is what we found.
What's your response to him, Peter?
Now, when he, now,
I mean, Peter,
let me say this.
Peter, he says you're un-American. He says you're wrong. What is your what's your response to that?
Let me just finish the thought here. Proper process in the White House says that Pence, Jacob should have gone to the president and Cipollone before January 6th and said, this is what we found. Mike is not a lawyer. Mike was just a tool and a puppet of these guys. He doesn't know a legal site from Adam. And I'm telling you, he betrayed the president simply by the act of not coming to the president and the White House legal counsel.
So,
I can't say that more
let me get this.
enough.
Yeah,
so
and
he's just wrong.
Look,
he's trying
this
to
matters, Peter. I'm trying to do my job here and make sure, Peter, trying to make sure we understand. So your response is that you maintain to this day, you just think Mike Pence is wrong, doesn't understand the law or the Constitution. That's your contention.
Yes, and look, here's the thing, Ari, you're a lawyer. You know, I've done a deep dive on the legal opinions on this. The worst you can say about this is there's disagreements over what's the law on this. Okay, you cannot assert on the Pence side, as he has done unilaterally, that President Trump was wrong.
It is especially funny that former Trump aide Peter Navarro thinks that the real issue here, amid Donald Trump's effort to quite literally steal a presidential election that he lost, is that Mike Pence didn't follow, quote, proper process by going to Trump first. Right, that's the part here that was improper. Yeah, no, that totally checks out. And beyond that, what would that have even accomplished? So that the great legal mind of Donald J. Trump could tell Mike Pence how the Constitution actually works? Donald Trump couldn't identify the Bill of Rights if it was plastered onto Ivanka's forehead. Are we really pretending here that because Mike Pence isn't a lawyer, that he doesn't know that Trump's plan to steal the election maybe wasn't on the level? Which brings me to my last point. Trump's plan to steal the election was illegal. You don't generally ask permission from the guy doing the illegal thing that everyone knows is illegal. If Mike Pence could see that Trump's plan to steal the election wasn't constitutional, why would Pence then defer to him? Why would Pence get his permission? What sense would that make? Mike Pence refused Trump's plan not to certify the election precisely because it wasn't allowed. You gotta love too how Navarro tries to trash Mike Pence here by calling him a puppet. Peter Navarro is calling Mike Pence a puppet while Navarro is in the process of desperately doing Trump's bidding on air. While Navarro is being subpoenaed by the January 6th committee to appear in front of Congress. In other words, Navarro is about to find himself in the middle of a legal shitstorm on Trump's behalf, and yet he's calling someone else a puppet? I mean, man, it must be freeing having so little self-awareness. But truly, nothing is better than Peter Navarro saying that he's done a deep dive on the legal opinions on the legality of Trump's plan to steal the election by declaring that Mike Pence can unilaterally decide whether or not to certify the election. I mean, dear God, what brilliant legal minds did Navarro pick? Judge Janine? Navarro even says that there are, quote, disagreements over what's the law on this, but the only people disagreeing are the people who are trying to overthrow the government. I'll bet they disagree that you can't just anoint the guy who lost the election the winner. I'd imagine there would be no lack of disagreement on their end. But just so we're crystal clear, there are not two valid schools of thought on this. There is one set of facts, and then there are criminals who will lie, cheat, and steal to get what they want. If you find yourself disagreeing with the facts, then I've got news for you. You might just be on the side of the criminals. To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work, subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. I cover the most important stories each week, and my guest is always one of the top political figures, including Vice President Kamala Harris, Jen Psaki, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Nancy Pelosi, Katie Porter, Cory Booker, and so many more. The podcast link is also right here on this screen, so give it a listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.